Hey guys, how the hell are you? Time for an all-new unbiased gear review. On this, the PRS Dustie wearing CE signature model. So what we've got here is, like all CE models from PRS past and present, it has a bolt-on maple neck. This one has a mahogany body with a beautiful flame maple top on it. We have maple fretboard on there with these beautiful looking black bird inlays, low mass locking tuners, a Floyd Rose 1000 series tremolo system. We have master volume, master tone, 5-way blade switch, and these Dustie wearing signature Tomahawk Mojotone humbuckers. So first of all, oh my god, isn't this thing pretty to look at? It is a beautiful, beautiful instrument. Many new colors coming out for 2020. This is the original wearing burst, this sort of deep burgundy sunburst finish that they've got. And it is just gorgeous. I love how the stain just sort of like pulls out this really awesome 3D effect on that top. You've got natural body binding, so just taping it off a little bit there, and it looks really, really beautiful. The routing is expertly done. You take a look at the routing for the cavities on the back, but also the routing for the bridge and really just kind of anything else. And it's clean and it's crisp, no jagged edges whatsoever. Taking a look at this fretwork, that's something that PRS has always done exceptionally well, and this guitar is no exception at all to that. This is some beautiful fretwork, no buzzing whatsoever to be found at all on this. The fret edges are nice and crisp, rolled over along with a nice rolled over fretboard edge to make it practically effortless to play this. I mean, it's ridiculous. Like, if you could see at the locking nut, you know what? I'll take a picture and post it right here. At the locking nut, you can get a really good idea of just how rolled off this fretboard edge is for maximum playability. That is a beautiful, beautiful touch to this instrument. The low mass locking tuners are also really nice. It's something you have to get used to if you're used to locking tuners always having a little gear that you turn on the back. These ones you kind of screw down on the top, so that's a little bit different. The Floyd flutters effortlessly, and stays in tune no matter what. This thing arrived in tune. I have banged around on this thing for the better part of a week now, and it is staying in tune. Just holding up really, really nicely. The aesthetics, not just the finish and the fact that it's got that maple board on it, but kind of a mixture of sort of a shinier black on some of the hardware and the matte black on the rest of the hardware just kind of makes this a nice murdered out looking instrument. It's really, really gorgeous. Taking a look at the neck pocket, the neck is sitting in there nice and flush, so even though this is a bolt-on model, it still has plenty of sustain. Really just excellent workmanship all around. I can't find a single flaw on this guitar, and believe me, I've looked. This thing is awesome. Probably the only thing that I would love to see done a little bit differently, I would love it if all of these covers and plates on the back were recessed just a little bit. But that's just me being very, very nitpicky. You know, all the same, this construction is fantastic. Oh, and I forgot to mention, this open pore finish that's on the back of the mahogany body, that's something that I always just really, really like about some pieces of mahogany when guitar companies do that. Just sort of leave the grain unfilled, and it just has a nice feel to it, and this guitar is no exception. Okay, so moving on to how this beast sounds, that is definitely something that surprised the hell out of me when I plugged this thing in. And that is owing to those Mojotone Dustie wearing humbuckers. These things have a very kind of unique tone to them, and it was one of those things that I actually had to kind of get used to because I didn't really care for it when I first plugged it in. So you would think, given what Dustie's music typically sounds like, that these things would maybe be a little bit hot-rodded vintage, but not like a searing hot molten metal pickup. But that's exactly what these things are, almost to a fault. They've got an inherent breakup to them that's not unlike Duncan Distortion to a certain extent. A lot of people love the Duncan Distortions because pretty much every guitar you put them in, you get a lot more breakup right off the bat from the actual pickups themselves. And that is definitely the same sort of vibe that I'm getting from these things, albeit with sort of a different sort of hotness to them. They're very, very loud, like I said. 16K for the bridge pickup. The neck pickup is definitely a little bit more subdued at 7.4, I believe. It's either 7.4 or 7.6. They are both a little mid-range heavy, which is not necessarily a bad thing. It's definitely something that cuts through, but it's not a sort of quacky mid-range either. It's just sort of an extremely present mid-range. Yeah, to give you a better idea, so yeah, definitely something where it's still articulate and there's still plenty of clarity to him, but there's just a lot of everything there, especially the mid-range. Something else that should be of note about these pickups is that they are a blend of both Alnico and ceramic magnets. So you do get a lot of note definition there thanks to the fact that it's got the ceramic in there, but there's also a lot of warmth. I think, if anything, that's probably what's definitely making this thing sound as crazy pushed as it does is you probably have those two magnets in there that are coming from like opposite ends of the spectrum, and because each of them enhances something else about the tone, you're kind of getting a lot of everything. So for those of us that are used to Alnico pickups like myself, you're definitely getting a lot of that ceramic edge to it that you're not necessarily used to. And for those of us that like the ceramic pickups, you're definitely getting a hell of a lot more oomph and wooliness than you're used to, even though it's such a crystal clear pickup. It's just got a hell of a lot going on for a bridge pickup. The neck pickup is also really good, but a little bit more like a woolly vintage set. Like, I would say, like, it gives almost like classic rock, maybe even southern rock sort of vibes to it. Even on the neck pickup, it's still kind of bright sounding, but with just a little bit of a more woolly kind of mid-range underneath it. One thing that I will say the blending of the magnets definitely adds to, though, this is a really kick-ass sounding set of pickups when split. Put it into position 4. Move it up to position 2 for that kind of split neck pickup sound. That is something that is super inspiring on this instrument when you have it in kind of a split humbucker mode. It's got that sort of same vibe from the tone that you would get from like vintage Strat into Marshall type territory. And that is something that these pickups do exceptionally well, is the split sound. So yeah, definitely that is something that really kind of caught me off guard in a good way. So my final thought on this guitar, this is just an absolute winner through and through. Just an effortless instrument to play on. It really is one of those things you pick up, you don't want to put down. Everything from that, there again, that awesomely rounded off fretboard edge to this awesome neck profile that's on here, which is a little bit thinner than you typically see from a PRS guitar. But just makes it a little bit easier to grasp and really kind of dig in for those bends and those lead runs a little bit. The comfort level is still there, just like with any PRS. The craftsmanship all over it is just fantastic. This is an instrument that is just kind of pure instrument building perfection. And I definitely recommend, if you guys get a chance to get your hands on this thing, check it out. Well worth the money. Just a fantastic guitar. So now I hear what you're saying, but Arnold, what are you drinking today? I am so glad you asked. Let's go to the beer fridge. Today, from one of my favorite breweries, we are having double-barreled maple stout from Avery from Boulder, Colorado. This is a 15.3% alcohol by volume barrel-aged stout, and like all awesome kind of limited release Avery's. I only expect that it's going to taste absolutely incredible. I have definitely never had a bad beer from this brewery. Pours pitch fucking black. Some slight coffee aroma, but a lot of kind of maple syrup and sugary kind of aromas there. Oh, wow. Whew, that's good. Definitely a perfect kind of dessert beer. You definitely get a lot of booziness, maple syrup, some vanilla cream in there. Not really nutty or super dark. More like kind of like when you get a Frappuccino, how it's just all sorts of sugary goodness. That's kind of what this beer is. It's, oh man. Oh, god damn, that is really, really, really exceptional. Just pinching you back here in the cheeks with the alcohol bite just a little bit, but exceptionally smooth. Really, really fantastic. So that's it for me. That's all the time I've got. Leave your comment in the comment section below. Like this video, subscribe to this channel. There's a lot more content to come.